What's cooking, Juventus fans? Welcome back to your old lady's favorite YouTube channel. Today, of course, the reason that you're all here, we're going to talk about Matthias de Ligt and the situation going on with him and his potential non-future with the club at Juventus and his future outside of the club. And, of course, we're going to talk about, is this Mercado becoming an absolute disaster for the Bianconeri? Stick with us. We'll fill you in. Ciao ragazzi, welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone. My name is Justin Sofro. Today, it's Friday, June 24th, 2022, and of course I got your latest rundown of all things Juventus, all the news you care about each and every day. As I've been trying to harp on, guys, if you can do it right now, if you're watching this video, get that thumb ready, get the clicker on your mouse. If you're watching on your computer, whatever it is you have, get that thumb ready, go up there, hit that like button right now. Really, it helps the channel, feed the algo gods, whatever it is we need, help us with the algorithm. Hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, become a member of our channel, and also hit that bell icon to stay notified for all of our latest videos. Now, let's get into it without further ado, the news that is, and of course, we're going to talk about Matthias de Ligt in the center back position for Juventus. Romeo Gnesti has his first comments saying that the first contacts between Juventus and Chelsea have already begun and taken place. The Blues have asked for information for Matthias de Ligt. Juve's position is clear. There is the will to arrive at the renewal, but a signal from the player is needed. Without it, new scenarios may open up. So we continue on from him. Then we have a report from Corriere dello Sport, who is talking about the situation, saying that it's wide open. They say a standstill has been is currently the status for de Ligt's renewal. The reason being is the clause. Juve would like to extend the contract by spreading the wages over the fixed part, but adding bonuses linked to performance and results. His manager wants to lower the clause. One thing we do know, of course, is that the Raiola group, the group that, Mino Raiola, RIP, that he managed, he was definitely pushing for Matthias de Ligt to be moving in this Mercado. Now it seems that they've kind of picked up that, it took a little bit longer than we expected, but they kind of picked up that hatchet, if you will, and try to continue on. I guess I should have said the torch, really, not the hatchet. The torch of the situation to try to move him on to another club. And maybe Matthias de Ligt will be open to that opportunity and the possibility. The Premier League clubs, PSG and Real Madrid, are all watching the situation with interest. It is difficult to find someone willing to pay the entire 120 million euro clause, putting Juve's back to the wall. But it's not certain that an offer between 80 and 90 million euros could not arrive. And this is where I sit. We talked about this a little bit on the live yesterday. I want to say this. Obviously, no player is irreplaceable. I mean, we had Cristiano Ronaldo at this club. But at the same time, it's going to be extremely, extremely difficult replacing, especially in this Mercado, a player like Matthias de Ligt. And I understand both sides of this argument. I'm probably more on the side of the argument of keep Matthias de Ligt, not at all costs, but at most costs, because of what he can mean for your club in the future. He's a young, talented player. He's a player at his age that could play for a long time. That if you instill him in what we have here at Juventus, you could develop him into something serious to be, like when I say the heir to Bonucci and Chiellini, I mean seriously the heir to Bonucci and Chiellini, as in being the next Chiellini of this club. I think a lot of people, though, are not under any kind of illusions, myself included, even after saying that Matthias de Ligt will stay with this club forever. Right? I don't think he'll ever be. There's this part of it that's part of the thing about having Italian players who have it in their blood and their passion to play for Juve, to play for these Italian teams and stick with it, because it's going to take a little bit of that sometimes to keep them playing at the club and playing for them for a long time. One of the things, though, too, is it's going to be difficult. If for some reason things have changed that much and Matthias de Ligt has decided that he wants to make a move from Juventus and he really doesn't want to stay here long term, I understand being open to letting him go. You can let him go, and especially if you can get a decent amount of money. I mean, it's got to be damn near close to that 100 million euros. I don't know that I'm not accepting 70, 80. I would honestly wouldn't, but I also understand if he doesn't renew the summer, or if he doesn't renew soon before the that whole situation pans out, the issues that could fall from that would be you lose a ton of money. Look at the Dybala situation. I was talking about this earlier in the year, I guess. Sorry, it's dragged on for so long. I've talked about this earlier in the year that like you couldn't afford to lose Dybala for free because it's a 60 million euro worth. Well, they lost him on a free. So now if you lose him and then you lose the Ligt and you're not making up any of that money, that's a lot to try to come up with in this Mercado. And then right now you're already looking at a Mercado that's looking at multiple players that are just honestly not that exciting. We're seeing deals that are being done. We're seeing Juventus holding out for a player like Di Maria, hoping that he's going to end up coming here. And then you've got Paul Pogba. That's a nice little exciting boost. But besides that, a lot of these moves, I don't know. I don't know if I feel like these are the moves that are going to make Juventus a contender for next season. Just being honest. They should be. There's no excuse to not be, but we've also seen the performances given the talent level that they currently have. And if you lose Matthijs de Ligt, that's another giant piece. And then the other part of it, like I said, losing Matthijs de Ligt for any kind of figure, any kind of monetary figure, you're already in a current spot where you're trying to replace Giorgio Chiellini. And you're trying to find somebody to step it in to be alongside Matthijs de Ligt to help give him some help. We talk about Koulibaly. But now you're going to have to look at not only getting the guy to replace Chiellini, but also a guy to replace Matthijs de Ligt, even though Matthijs de Ligt was the guy to replace Chiellini. I know it may sound like a lot of gobbledygook of what I just said, but does that make sense? Like that's a big hole you're digging yourself while you already have multiple aspects that you need to cover in this Mercado right now. You're going to have to go after potentially another midfielder, and you're going to have to go after a winger or a couple wingers, really. It's just a big hole to dig yourself out of. We'll continue to monitor it. We'll see how this continues to go, but that's the situation as it stands. I think there might be one more update with that right there. We also have Republica, though, who's coming out, and I don't know how reliable I would take their sources, but what they are saying is that they believe De Ligt wants to leave Juventus, who are now thinking to sell. With 70 million euros, the Bianconeri could get Koulibaly and reinforce the team in other departments, too. I'm sorry. Get all the way the hell out of here. 70 million euros, no way in hell. I'm sorry. No, no, sir. No, sir. At this point, I am not selling Matthijs de Ligt for 70 million euros, especially once that clause kicks in and it'll be 125 million euros. To me, it doesn't make sense, but this is a very swift moving process right now. So anything could happen in the next hours. And when I say hours, I actually mean hours to days. Not the Giovanni Albanese version of the next few days with Di Maria. So we'll keep you updated on all that. We'll keep covering it. Again, I think to me the best resolution would be to retain De Ligt. Like I said, if you put your trust in him and get his kind of commitment to the club, even if you have to give him that captain's armband or whatever, I feel like he's a player that could deserve it. So it would be really disappointing to see him move on from the club and to lose him. And I think he's a really, really, really great talent that Juventus would be missing out on. I know a lot of people have said that he's can be bang average in some situations. I think they're highly underestimating his capabilities as a defender. Let's continue on. Let's talk about the next move topic of the day, which is, of course, the same old topic we talked about for a while. It's Di Maria. I'm not going to hang on this for a long time, but basically Nico Schietta came out and just said, if Juventus are going all the way with Di Maria, it means that they have received positive signals. Otherwise, there would be no point in them continuing to wait. I agree with that. But I still feel like it's just kind of one of those situations that even if they're getting not that positive, maybe they're getting positive signals because Juventus are the only ones that are coming to the table with money. Because if Barcelona had the money, he'd be going to Barcelona. Or if Barcelona had the means to make this happen, I truly believe he'd be doing that right now. So we'll see. There's positive signs, but the positive signs, I still am firmly in the corner of I believe the positive signs are because nobody else has given him the opportunity, or nobody else is able to pay for that right now that he would rather go to. We'll see. We'll keep you updated on that. We'll see. I think Sunday seems to be a highly contentious, or not contentious, but highly contended belief that that'll be the day that we might hear something. But again, how many of those days have we had already? Let's talk about my boy Big Z in the news. The next one up is basically Roma just talking about that too, or Tudo Sports talking about it, saying that now Roma are thinking about selling Zaniolo. The valuation at which Roma are starting is 50 to 60 million euros. There's no way that they're going to get that. I don't believe it. I understand people are, and that's why a lot of people are upset and frustrated with Zaniolo. I don't believe it's going to be 50 to 60 million euros. Unless Juve can really stretch this thing out on the purchase, I just don't see it. With Juve ready to spend less by including bonuses and players. Artur, for example, is a player that Mourinho likes. We talked about this a little bit on the live as well. I don't know how strongly Artur would be willing to go to a Roma. If he does, I think that would be To me, that's a fantastic deal. If you can find a way to offload Archer while bringing in Zaniolo, who you know the club already wants, regardless of what all... The fan base is very split and torn when it comes to this player. I am on the side... I'm a man alone. I'm a man on an island fighting alone for Big Z. I am Team Zaniolo, while my two co-hosts with me are Team Anti-Zaniolo. There's a lot of those out there, and they're the vocal minority, or maybe not. I don't know if they're minority, but they're very vocal. They're vocal to people that don't want Zaniolo. But the thing is, the club, actually, this is a kind of a club dream. This isn't about the fans. This isn't about a specific need. This is kind of a club thing. The club has always been kind of a, we want to see Zaniolo play here. From Paratici, now it looks like Cherubini continues that same belief and that same kind of drive. So we'll see how this one continues to develop, but it's something really to keep an eye on right now, especially given if things fully do collapse with Di Maria. Now we'll move it on, talk about what's going on with Juventus left back there, and what I mean is the ones that are being sold. Nico Schietta basically just reported talking about Luca Pellegrini, saying that not only West Ham, Fulham have also shown interest in Juventus left back Luca Pellegrini. So another option for somebody where he could end up being sold out to, and those would be probably better options if you're looking at the Premier League, because obviously Premier League are willing to overpay for players, if we're being honest. So that's one way we could look at it. All right, and then the last bit of the news today, Tutto Sports reporting, talking about what's going on with the youngsters, saying that Juventus told Monza they won't loan out Moretti. Allegri wants to evaluate the midfielder during the training camp. The same goes for Fagioli. And Rovella, after that, Max will make a decision. So it looks right now that Juventus have made the decision to retain Moretti, but the thing is, will they end up retaining Fagioli as well? Has been kind of rumored out there, or will he end up going somewhere where he can start? Yesterday, if you tune into the live, you'll see Julian kind of did a buy, sell, loan game that we played in there. The thing that made the most sense, really, what we ended up determining was that obviously the sell would be Rovella, just because he is the most market value out there. I think a lot of more clubs will come to the table for him. You can be utilized in some deals to bring in the players that Juve do like. Fagioli is probably the guy that you would keep just because he's at his age and he'll get the playing time he can get. But also, Juventus getting more midfielders, getting Pogba, whatever. The youth that's actually going to be staying here, unless injuries really do strongly start occurring, they're going to have limited minutes. So again, if Fagioli's okay with limited minutes, he's going to have limited minutes. And then Moretti is a guy, to me, I think I put the most value in, and that's why I've been talked into, in this circumstance, you know, where you only get one for each one, letting him be loaned out just so that way he can continue to develop. But obviously, my personal opinion is I'd like to see him stay with the club, which looks like the club feels the same way. So just something to keep an eye on, depending on how invested you are into these young players. Anyway, guys, that'll do it for your quick rundown of the news today. Let me know your thoughts on all that's going on with that. What do you think about the Matthijs de Ligt situation? Are you worried? Are you frustrated? Are you nervous about losing him? Or are you on the other side where you think sell him now, get the money you can get, and use that to use it in other aspects? Are you not worried about the center back position, especially given Juventus' potential need to buy two of them in this Mercado? If they'll actually do it, we're yet to see that. Anyway, guys, hit that like button, smash the subscribe button, hit the bell icon to stay notified for all of our latest videos. Make sure you follow me at Justin Sofro on Twitter, and of course, follow Biancaneri Zone at Biancaneri Zone, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. I'll see you guys next time. Forza Juve, Forza Biancaneri.